Welcome to a deep dive into the future of AI. You guys shared some super interesting articles about OpenAI's latest and greatest O3 and O3 Mini. And wow, this stuff is mind-blowing. We're going to unpack how these models are not just playing the game, they're changing the rules, they're even outperforming humans in some areas. So get ready for some serious aha moments as we explore the world where science fiction meets reality.
It's incredible, right? It's like we're seeing AI evolve from just following instructions to actually like understanding and reasoning. It's a huge leap forward.
Okay, so let's start with O3. One article mentioned O3 getting like 71.7% accuracy on the sweet bench-verified benchmark. Now, I know that might sound like a bunch of technical jargon, but think about it this way. Imagine a program that can write almost three-quarters of your code for you. That's basically what we're talking about. O3 is tackling real-world coding problems with an accuracy that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just basic coding tasks. This model is even doing amazing in competitive programming. It scored a 727 ELO rating on Code Forces. That's like, imagine an AI competing against the best human programmers and winning.
Right. It even beat the OpenAI chief scientist score. That's wild, but yet it gets even crazier. O3 isn't just a coding whiz, it's a math genius too. It scored a near-perfect 96.7% on the Amy, that's like the Olympics of high school math competitions.
Right.
To put that into perspective, that's like missing, what, one or two questions on an incredibly difficult exam.
And it's not just high school math. O3 also tackled the GPQ Diamond benchmark. That focuses on like PhD level science questions, and it got 87.7% accuracy. Now compare that to the average score of a PhD expert, which is around 70%. This AI is performing at a level that's like it rivals and sometimes even surpasses the very best human minds in these fields.
It's like O3 went back to school, got a PhD, and is now tutoring everyone else.
But these incredible scores also raise a question, right? Are our benchmarks even tough enough to challenge these new AI models? You mentioned an article about Epic AI's Frontier Math Benchmark, which is supposed to be the ultimate test.
Right. It's designed to be incredibly difficult. It's full of unpublished math problems that would even make seasoned mathematicians sweat.
So how did O3 do on this ultimate math challenge? Did it crack the code, so to speak?
We'll get this. While other AI models barely get like 2% accuracy on this benchmark, O3 scored over 25%.
Wow, that's a huge jump. This level of performance is unprecedented. It really shows how O3 is pushing the limits of what we thought AI could do.
It is. It's a total game changer. It suggests that we might be entering a new era where AI can not only match human expertise, but actually go beyond it.
Now, there's one more benchmark we need to talk about, the ARC benchmark. And to help us understand this one, we have a special guest today, Greg, the president of the ARC Foundation. Welcome to the deep dive, Greg. Great to have you here, Greg. The ARC benchmark is famous for being incredibly difficult for AI systems. It's been unbeaten for 5 years.
Greg, can you give us a quick rundown of what the ARC benchmark is all about? What makes it so tough for AI to crack?
Yeah, I'm really curious about that. What kind of skills does it test for? What makes it so unique?
Okay, Greg, tell us all about it. What is the ARC benchmark and how did O3 do on it?
So the ARC AGI benchmark is, well, it's all about testing an AI's ability to learn and adapt, like on the fly, It's not just about memorizing patterns. It's about actually understanding and applying those concepts to new situations.
So it's like instead of just spitting out answers based on what it's seen before, the AI has to actually think critically and solve problems it's never encountered before.
Exactly. Imagine like teaching a kid to solve puzzles, right? You wouldn't just show them the same puzzle over and over again. You'd give them new puzzles, different shapes, colors, different rules to help them like develop their problem-solving skills. That's what the ARC benchmark is like for AI.
I see. It's like giving the AI a set of building blocks and then seeing if it can use those blocks to create something new and unexpected, right?
That's a great way to put it. We present the AI with a series of tasks, and each task requires a different skill or approach. So, for example, one task might involve recognizing a pattern of blue squares, and then the next task might involve understanding, say, the relationship between yellow squares and borders. The AI needs to figure out the rules for each task and then apply its knowledge to succeed.
That sounds incredibly challenging. It's like taking a test where the questions keep changing and you have to constantly adjust your thinking. So how did O3 do on this challenging benchmark? Was it able to rise to the occasion?
Well, let me tell you, we were blown away by O3's performance.
Oh,
On the semi-private holdout set, it achieved a score of 75.7%, and that was with the lower compute settings. It's currently at the top of our public leaderboard.
wow, that's an incredible achievement, especially with those compute limitations. It really shows how efficient O3 is, how well it can learn.
And get this, when we let O3 use higher compute settings, It blew past human performance. It got a score of 87.5%. The average human score is around 85%. It's safe to say O3 is in a league of its own.
That's amazing. Not only did it conquer a benchmark that's been unbeaten for 5 years, but it also surpassed human performance. That's phenomenal. It really highlights how fast AI is progressing.
It does. This is why benchmarks like ArcAGI are so important. They challenge us to push the limits of AI development and create systems that can truly learn and reason like humans do. We need more benchmarks like this to guide our progress. In fact, I'm excited to announce that we're partnering with OpenAI to create a new frontier benchmark in 2025.
Wow, that's fantastic news. I can't wait to see what challenges you guys come up with. Thanks for sharing all these amazing insights, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. Your work with the ARC benchmark is truly groundbreaking.
All right, so we've seen O3 pushing the limits of AI. But now let's talk about O3 Mini, its more compact and efficient counterpart. To help us understand this model, we have Hongyu joining us, the researcher who trained O3 Mini. Welcome to the deep dive, Hongyu.
It's great to have you here, Hongyu. I'm really interested to hear about the development of O3 Mini and the design choices that went into making it so efficient.
Hongyu, you shared some articles about O3 Mini's adaptive thinking time, which sounds super interesting. Can you tell us more about that? How does it work?
Sure. Adaptive thinking time is all about giving users more control over the model's performance. It's like choosing a difficulty level in a video game. You can adjust the thinking time to low, medium, or high. It all depends on how complex the task is and how much time you're willing to wait for a response.
So if I need a quick answer to a simple question, I can use low. But if I'm working on something complex, I can crank it up to high and give the model more time to think, right?
Yeah, exactly. This flexibility makes O3 Mini really versatile. It can adapt to different needs. It's like having a personalized AI assistant that can adjust its thinking speed to match your pace.
That's a brilliant idea. It lets users optimize the model's performance, balancing speed and accuracy. Now, one article mentioned O3 Mini's impressive coding skills, especially on code forces. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, O3 Mini's a coding whiz, especially when you give it some time to think. We tested it on code forces. That's where programmers from around the world compete, and O3 Mini was consistently beating its older sibling O1 Mini, especially with higher thinking time.
So it's like O3 Mini is training for the AI coding Olympics and just crushing it. But you also mentioned that it does all this at a fraction of the cost of O1. That's a big win for developers.
Totally. Cost is a big factor for a lot of developers, and O3 Mini is really good there. We're seeing similar or even better performance than O1, but way cheaper, so more developers can use this awesome technology.
That's really something. It makes these advanced AI capabilities more accessible to everyone, not just the big players. But coding's just one thing. The articles also talked about O3 Mini being good at math. What about that?
O3 Mini's pretty good at math, too. We tested it on the AMY 2024 dataset that's got a bunch of hard math problems, and it performed comparably to or even better than O1, especially with the medium and high thinking times.
So it's not a one-trick pony. It's a versatile problem solver that can handle coding and math, all with impressive accuracy and speed. One thing that really caught my eye in the articles was that O3 Mini can respond super quickly. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh, yeah. One of the big advantages of O3 Mini, especially with the low thinking time setting, is its speed. We've seen it respond in under a second. That opens up a ton of possibilities for real-time stuff.
But that speed is a game changer. Perfect for things where you need instant feedback, chatbots, translations, even AI in games. It's crazy to think we're at a point where AI can think almost as fast as we can.
It really is mind-blowing. I'm also really excited about the fact that O3 Mini is packed with features that developers love. Can you talk about those?
We've been working closely with developers to figure out what they need and make O3 Mini super powerful and easy to use. For example, it supports function calling that lets developers directly use its code generation capabilities.
That's a great addition. Makes things so much smoother for developers because they can easily integrate O3 Mini's code generation right into their own apps.
And there's more. O3 Mini also has structured outputs, which makes it easier to use its responses. And it has support for developer messages, so developers can have more custom and interactive conversations with the AI.
Exactly. We're always working to make things better for developers and make O3 Mini as intuitive and powerful as possible. And here's something really exciting. In a lot of tests, O3 Mini actually performs as well as or even better than GPT-4, and it's more affordable.
Wow, that's saying something. GPT-4 is considered one of the best language models out there. To see O3 Mini matching or even beating it in some areas is a huge accomplishment.
Sounds like O3 Mini is a serious contender. It's got this awesome combination of performance, efficiency, and affordability. Now, I'm dying to see O3 Mini in action. You mentioned you have a live demo for us.
Yeah, a live demo is always fun. I can't wait to see how O3 Mini handles those complex tasks and how that adaptive thinking time works in real life.
All right, Hongyu, show us what O3 Mini can do.
Okay, so for this demo, I'm going to put O3 Mini High to the test. We're going to ask it to create a Python code generator and executor.
That's ambitious. It's like asking the AI to build its own little software development team. I'm really curious to see how it handles something so complex.
This is going to be fascinating. Let's see those coding muscles in action.
So I've already got a script ready. When I run it, it'll launch a local server with a basic user interface, just a little window on your computer where you can type stuff in. We'll type in what we want the code to do, and O3 Mini will take over, solve the task, write the Python code, save it, and then actually run it to show us the result.
Wow, we're giving O3 Mini the keys to the kingdom. It's amazing that we can just ask an AI to create and run code for us, like right now.
This really shows how AI could automate stuff that used to be only for expert programmers. This could be huge for anyone who needs to develop software, even if they don't know much about coding.
Okay, so the server is up and running, and here's our interface. It's a simple text box where we type our requests. Let's start simple. We'll ask it to print the words OpenAI with a random number.
Okay, let's see if it can handle the basics. It's like a little coding warm-up before the main event.
I am sending the request now. And there you go. It wrote the code, ran it perfectly, and printed OpenAI 41, all in the blink of an eye.
That was super fast. It's like having a coding assistant that's always ready to go no matter what you throw at it.
That speed and efficiency are incredible. It shows how AI can make things that used to take tons of time and effort happen almost instantly. It's like shrinking hours of work down to seconds.
Now I want to see it tackle something harder. Is there anything that'll really challenge O3 Mini, push its limits a bit?
Well, first, let's get a little meta here. We'll ask O3 Mini to evaluate itself on the GPQ dataset. That's a dataset with a bunch of really tough questions designed to test its knowledge and reasoning. And to make it even more interesting, we'll use O3 Mini Low. So it'll have to work smarter, not harder, with less thinking time.
That's a cool idea. It's like asking a student to grade their own test. But in this case, the student is an AI that can actually analyze its own strengths and weaknesses.
I love it. It's a real test of how self-aware O3 Mini is. Let's see what happens.
I'm submitting the request now. This might take a minute since the GPQ dataset is big and we're using low thinking time.
While we wait, I'm curious, from a developer's perspective, what are the challenges of making an AI that can grade its own work, so to speak?
It's a tricky thing. You're basically teaching the AI how to understand what makes a good answer, apply that to its own work, and then tell us how it thinks it did. It needs to really understand the task, be able to look inward and analyze its own thinking, and then communicate all that in a way we can understand.
And the results are in. O3 Mini, after analyzing its performance on the GPQ dataset, gave itself a score of 61.6%. Not bad for grading its own homework.
Wow, that's really something. It means O3 Mini can not only solve those hard problems, but it can also step back, look at its own work, and give a pretty accurate self-assessment.
That's impressive. It shows how sophisticated AI systems are becoming. They're not just black boxes anymore. They're becoming more transparent, able to explain their reasoning, and that's super important for building trust between humans and AI.
This has been an amazing demo, Hongyu. Thank you so much for showing us what O3 Mini can do. It's a huge leap forward for AI, powerful, efficient, user-friendly. It's truly groundbreaking.
Thanks, Hongyu. This demo has really opened my eyes to the potential of O3 Mini. It's an incredible accomplishment.
Now, before we go, we need to talk about the big question, safety. AI is getting more powerful every day, and we need to make sure these models are developed responsibly. OpenAI has a great track record when it comes to safety. I know they've done a lot to address any potential concerns with O3 and O3 Mini. Can you tell us about their approach to safety?
I agree. Safety is super important with AI. I'd love to hear more about the specific safety measures they've put in place, especially with these powerful new models.
These are important questions, and I'm glad we're talking about them. It's crucial to have these open and honest conversations about the potential risks and benefits of AI as we enter this new era.
OpenAI is absolutely committed to developing AI safely and responsibly. They've got a multifaceted approach to safety, which includes rigorous testing, transparency, and collaboration with the whole AI community. For example, they've made O3 and O3 Mini available for public safety testing so independent researchers can really scrutinize the models and find any potential issues.
That's fantastic. That kind of transparency helps build trust, knowing that OpenAI is open to feedback and working with others to make sure their AI systems are safe.
I'm glad to see that level of commitment to safety. By bringing in the wider research community, OpenAI is getting access to so much expertise, so many different perspectives, which is really important for finding and fixing potential problems.
And on top of the public safety testing, OpenAI has developed a new safety technique called deliberative alignment. This is all about teaching the AI to understand why safety guidelines are important, not just memorizing rules.
That's really interesting. It's like teaching the AI to actually think about safety, not just blindly follow instructions. Can you give us an example of how that works?
Yeah, how do you teach an AI about the nuances of safety and making judgment calls based on the situation and what the user really means?
Think about teaching a kid about crossing the street. You wouldn't just say, don't cross the street. You'd explain that cars are dangerous, they go fast, and can't always stop. You'd help them understand why the rule exists. Deliberative alignment is similar for AI. It tries to give the AI a deeper understanding of the reasons behind the safety guidelines so it can make better, more informed decisions about potentially harmful requests.
I get it. By teaching the AI to reason about safety, we're basically making it more responsible, even in situations it hasn't seen before.
It's definitely a smarter approach than just programming in a bunch of strict rules.
Mm.
It lets the AI adapt to new situations and consider the context and the user's intent, which is crucial for safety in the real world.
This has been an amazing deep dive into the world of O3 and O3 Mini. We've seen how they're pushing the boundaries of AI, achieving superhuman performance, changing how we develop software, and even showing signs of self-awareness. But like we've been talking about, with great power comes great responsibility, and it's great to see OpenAI taking safety seriously, involving the research community, and coming up with new techniques like deliberative alignment.
Absolutely. It's been awesome exploring these models and learning about everything OpenAI is doing to make sure AI is developed and used responsibly.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. As always, we hope you enjoyed exploring these incredible AI advancements with us. We encourage you to keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep imagining what's possible with this incredible technology. What will the world be like as AI continues to evolve? How will these advancements change how we live, work, and understand intelligence itself? Those are questions we'll keep exploring in future deep dives. Until then, keep your minds curious and your imaginations running wild.